Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we'll be looking at Tottenham's 5-0 demolition job against bottom of the league Southampton, as Tottenham scored 5 in the first 45 minutes to inflict a 5-0 defeat on an already struggling Southampton and potentially get Spurs back on track. When we look at the game, first minute, 30 seconds in, Jed Spence, the replacement for Pedro Porro today following a poor run of games from Pedro Porro. Jed Spence comes in, drives forward, and gives the ball to Maddison, who scores. Then Heung-min Son makes it 2 and 12. 2 minutes later, Kulusevski scores to make it 3. Pape Sarr in the 25th minute with an assist from Son. And to round it out, a beautiful finish in the 45th minute from James Maddison. And another assist from Heung-min Son to round out all 5 of Tottenham's goals today. And the first half was night and day to our performances before. We were constantly going forward. We were playing the ball all over the place. There was no hesitation. We were not passing back that much. And from when we were watching, I think we could attest a lot of that to the inclusion of Jed Spence and Lucas Bergvall in the side today. I think having a right back who, drove forward the entire game really, really helped us, especially within the first 25 minutes. After the first 25, Udogie went off injured and Spence moved to the left, where he was just as good. But I really do think he was the big change maker today. Not to mention, Sarr was much better than how he had been playing recently, especially against Chelsea. I felt he was moving the ball a lot better, and that was probably the biggest change that we saw compared to our recent games, and that's what really opened up the attack. And that the first half was absolutely beautiful. I mean, our front four were excellent. Solanke was running. He wasn't able to get any goals or assists, but he was certainly working at up there. Our midfield was fantastic, and we really saw no defensive threats from Southampton. They could not break past us. Every time we lost the ball, we would get it back within their half or at the front part of our own half, which was very, very important when it came to continually attacking the entire time. And I think we need to keep this up in the other games, because that's been one of our biggest problems, is not winning the ball back and being very complacent. Which is something I want to draw attention to in the second half, because as soon as the second half started, we completely fell off a cliff. I mean, if we look at the second half stats versus the first half, Tottenham had 16 shots in the first half with 66% possession. Southampton had 34% possession and just 2 shots. But if we change it to the second half, we had considerably less possession. But the most worrying statistic was that Southampton now had 7 shots and we only had 2. So they started to control the game a lot more, and that was very troubling. Obviously, we were up 5-0, so it was not that big of a deal, but you could see the complete drop off. And then Fraser Forster started having to get involved, and our defense started to get involved, and then we conceded a couple of offside goals. But that was certainly a worrying point, because when you're this dominant, one of the things should be that, we have to keep the ball. So there was a very clear point where you could see that transition happen, and then it became easy to see, yep, that's why we've been losing the last 7-8 games, is because we can't keep that focus up for the entire game, and we're not going to be able to score 5 in every first half of every game. So that's going to have to be a problem that is figured out very quickly. And I don't think that stemmed from the defense. I think that stemmed from a lack of effort from kind of the midfield, and then I think moving Jed Spence to the left too kind of hurt us, because the right is his preferred spot. So that was certainly a worrying part of the game, because we really needed to keep control. And if this is a better team, I have a feeling we would have gone to 5-3, 5-4, which would not have been a good look for us. But Fraser Forster held strong, as he has been in the last few games, and that was very important for us. Focusing on the positives, Maddison, incredible. Son, excellent. But I think all of that stems from that right-hand side of Kulusevski and Spence, particularly Jed Spence. First Premier League start for Tottenham, and I think first career Premier League start for Jed Spence, and I think he did it completely perfectly. And it was one position that we looked particularly weak in with Pedro Porro. He's been certainly under the par for his position. But I don't know why Spence didn't get a chance earlier. But I'm glad that Ange finally took the jump and put Spence in. Pedro Porro did come back in 28 minutes into the game though for Udogie, who went off injured. This was after we were 4-0 up, so nothing can go our way when we're Tottenham. But yeah, having Spence in that right back position really changed the game for us. I think that's the only reason that we came out really firing on all cylinders, and I think that had a bubble effect to the front three or the front four and get them getting goals. So I'm excited. I hope that Jed Spence will continue in that position because I think he's the right fit. I think if he continues against Man United, we will have a much bigger chance in the Carabao Cup than if we don't put him in. So it's going to be interesting to see what Ange does. Also, losing Udogie was not good for us. We're very low on players to the point where we might even see Sergio Reguilon come into the left back if needed. Because if we look at our injury list, Mikey Moore's still out. Vicario is going to be out till next year. Davies will probably continue to be out. Romero's out till next year. Van de Ven is most likely out till next year. Bentancur is suspended, although I'm not sure if he's eligible for the Carabao Cup. Odober's out till next year, and hopefully Richarlison is back within the next month, but I have a feeling he's out till next year. So we're missing a lot of players, and it will be down to Madison and Kulusevski and our wingbacks to really fire it up against Man United. And I think we've got a chance, but it all does depend on, I think, who starts in that right back position and who starts in the left back position, because that will dictate how we play. But that's it for our review of the 5-0 demolition job against Southampton from Tottenham Hotspur, as Tottenham scored 5 goals in the first 45 minutes to put the game to bed right away. If you enjoyed and want to see more Spurs content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what your favorite part of the game was and what you thought about the game. And until next time, come on you Spurs!